Hey, what's up? Welcome to The Fix again. Man, today I had an interesting subject. It's about pain. Yep, I said it, pain. It's something that I suppose to a certain degree we are all afraid of. We're all afraid of experiencing pain. We're all afraid of going through pain. We're all afraid of living a life filled with pain. Pain in the body, pain in the mind, pain in life generally. We are so afraid of it. But it was significant towards my growth as a person, personally. It was the key towards me emerging at the other side of my life in the second half, better, wiser, stronger, and much more focused and determined to become a winner. And I can give you two instances in my life where pain was actually my reward. My pain was my liberator, if I can call it that. It was significant towards me growing into being a better man. And I remember vividly when I was in high school around matric, I remember my mother actually had difficulty paying for my high school education, and I started to be discouraged. And I found myself not paying attention, not being serious about my schoolwork, just playing literally. And between January and June, all the marks that I've been achieving were so poor. My senior teacher calls me into his office and says, "Today we gotta talk, young man." I'm like, "Okay, good. What's up?" He says to me, "Look, I've been going through your year mark, and it's so poor. And to be honest with you, with this kind of year mark, I don't care what you will achieve during your exams in the final year, but the chances of you passing your matric have already slipped through your hands. You have failed your matric even before you wrote the final exam." I was like, hell no, how does that even happen? How is it possible that I could fail my matric before I write final exam? I should be able to write my final exams first before I fail. He's like, "No, that's not how it works. You see, we take your year mark, put it together with your final exam, and then we add and divide and whatever they do, and at the end of the day we come up with a percentage, and yours is so poor that it will drastically lower your final exams. So you have two choices. You either remain as a full-time student, or you allow us to remove you and make you part-time. But that would mean that every single time you enter a final exam, you would enter there in every subject with 0. We're scrapping everything." Oh my goodness, I couldn't believe it. But I agreed, they scrapped everything. I started from 0. And it was during that time where I knew that this was it, that I realized that it's either I focus, it's either I study hard, it's either I find something within me to push me in order to be able to propel me forward. And it was the pain of living a life of one day looking at my life and thinking, man, I started failing right there. I started losing my future right there. The pain of being the only one among my friends who had failed his matric. It was the pain of knowing that my future could be slipping right through my hands that motivated me to work harder, to focus, to stop playing, to remove the distractions, the TV, the friends, and everything else that was my distraction. I got rid of it, and finally I managed to pass my exams. Had it not been that process, had it not been for the pain of knowing that my life was gonna spiral out of control, I don't know if I would have focused. The second time where pain became my liberator was when I found myself in a job that I didn't like. I woke up every single day going to this place where I hated it. I hated the environment. I hated the condition in which I was working under. I hated my life. I was angry, I was frustrated, I started drinking more. My life was just becoming a mess. And I was in pain. I was in pain in my thoughts. I was in pain in my body. My life experience generally was painful. And I had a decision to make. Today, here is your life. What is the solution? And lucky enough, divine intervention came through, and this thing that I've always wanted to do since I was a kid came back into my life, which is motivation. And I had a decision to make. Do you either stay stuck in your life, as somebody once said, that we only have 2 primary decisions to make in life? You either decide to change the conditions of your life, or you accept them as they are. And I knew that with my life, with the amount of pain that I'm experiencing in my thoughts, I cannot continue living a life like this. And I committed my life to becoming a speaker. And it was that moment in my life that managed to produce me, the second half of my life, much more determined, more serious, success-driven, somebody who had principles that are living off on every single day, somebody who was driven to make a difference within society. I began going to schools, I began reading the books, I began changing, I began removing anything that would stop me from becoming this thing that I once desired to become as a kid. Had it not been for these 2 monumental moments in my life, I don't know if I would have become the man that I am today. I don't know if it was not the pain that I went through that would have produced this man that I become. They say there are only two kinds of pains that you must face in life: the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. And I managed to discipline myself because I didn't want to live the rest of my life regretting what my whole life and wondering what I could have been. So my advice to you is this: stop being afraid of pain. Pain is there to produce you, to change you, to shape you, to cut away anything that may come along the way. And if your life is producing results that you don't want, stop focusing on the results. Focus on the cause, because it is the cause that will tell you what you're doing wrong that's producing the results. And when you focus on the cause, the pain is like the headache. Okay? The headache is there because you're not doing something. It is not, the headache itself is not the problem. Get rid of what's causing the headache and you have solved the problem. I went back and fixed what was wrong about what was causing the pain, and the pain produced the better version of myself. So I hope you get this message. Fall in love with pain, let it cut you, let it shape you, let it define you, and you will become a better person. Cheers, and I'll catch you on the next fix, baby.